So how's it going, guys, and welcome back to another video today on this main Luton channel. Today's video is going to be another transfer related video. I'm going to be discussing the possibility of some Arsenal academy prospects coming to Luton this summer. So I don't know if you guys have seen the recent news, but Jack Wilshere did say openly in an interview that he will be in talks with Mikel Arteta about getting some Arsenal academy prospects on loan to Luton this summer. Now, he originally in this interview said that he had interest in the likes of Max Dowman and Ethan Wilshere, but we all know that is not going to be possible. Or Max Dowman has featured for Arsenal not just in the league but in the Champions League, and he is a player for the future for them. And Ethan Wilshere has spent the season out on loan to Marseille, so them two are definitely above our pay grade and our level at the moment. However, while doing some research, I've picked out a couple players that I believe Luton Town could get on loan this summer from Arsenal's academy, and those two players are Ismail Kabia, I believe I've pronounced that correctly, and Louis Copley. They're the two players I believe we could get to Luton very shortly. Ismail Kabia is a 20-year-old 5'9" Dutch right winger who was on loan at Shrewsbury last season in Division 2, and he made 43 appearances in all competitions and got 3 goals and 2 assists. And Shrewsbury was the Dutchman's first ever spell of senior football. And with Louis Copley, he's a 19-year-old 5'9" English central midfielder or attacking midfielder, and he was on loan at Crawley Town last season in Division 2, and he made 9 appearances and got 1 assist. And Crawley was again Copley's first spell of senior football away from the academy. Now, I looked into some other players that could be potential options for Luton, but those two were the main stars that I could actually see coming to us. The other ones were either in the National League, so I feel like that would be a step too below Luton standards, and then the other players are either contracted to another club, like for example Charles Sago Jr. He's on loan with Kalmar in Sweden until January 2027. I thought he would have been a good one. And the other option was Maldini Kukuri, who is currently at Grimsby. He got signed by them in January, but I thought he would have been a brilliant centre-half option for Luton. So away from those two, when focusing on Copley and Kabia, I'm going to quickly go into where I think they could fit into Luton's system, and more specifically Jack Wilshere's system. Now with Kabia, I know obviously he's a right winger, and I don't believe Luton really need another winger at the moment after having quite a few options last season with regards to the likes of Gideon Kodua, Isaiah Jones, etc. And of course Shaden Morris, forgot to add him. But when a player does play 43 appearances in all comps in his first ever spell of senior football, that is something that does stand out to me, and I believe that Kabia is going to be a much wanted player this summer transfer window for a lot of English clubs. I do believe as well he's versatile. He doesn't just play on the right, he can actually play further deep into defence at right back and elsewhere, but I definitely think he could be an option for Luton and for Jack Wilshere this summer to get on loan. Similar to Emilio Lawrence as well, like since we let him flourish in our team with his first spell of senior football away from the Man City Academy, he did really well. So Kabia's already got that under his belt, and he's already done really well in Division 2, scoring a couple goals as well. So I feel like this step into Division 1 could be the right sort of movement in his career. However, with Louis Copley, obviously he only did feature 9 times last season, so he's not exactly as experienced and plays many games as Kabia has. Therefore, he's probably lower down in the pecking order for me between the two, and I do feel like maybe he probably needs more game time in League 2 before he steps up to League 1. But at the same time, he's a central midfielder, and Wilshere obviously formerly was a central midfielder, so maybe he could do similar to what he'd done with Jake Richards and mould him into a completely different and more experienced player if he gave him the opportunity and chance, if we obviously did get him on loan. And I think with regards to positioning, as I said about Kabia, we have already got quite a lot of wingers at the club. I know obviously we have got the likes of George Saville, Jordan Clark, Liam Walsh, etc., but there's no guarantee that Walsh and Clark are set to stay for now. Obviously there's contract negotiations going on, and I do feel like we could do some depth in that middle, or just some creativity. Obviously we have got players in the middle that can play elsewhere, like the likes of Jake Richards and stuff, but why not give another youngster a chance, even if it's appearances off the bench? But if we can maybe get him to grow, maybe he could do similar to what other players in the squad have done last season, as I said, Richards and Lawrence, and start off small, making appearances off the bench, and in the latter stages of the season they become players that we want to build our team around. But let me know, guys, in the comments below what you think about these two players I've picked out. If I was to favour one, as I've already said, it would probably be Kabia, and I would also like to see possibly Copley come to Luton, but I haven't really seen enough of these two players myself, so I can't make a complete judgment. This is just a little bit of research I've done just to make an interesting video after what Jack Wilshere said in that interview the other day. But I hope you guys have found this video informative. It's a video I spent a bit of time doing research on, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed it and do appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys all in my next video. Peace.